These are tales of danger and the pursuit of endless riches. Adventurers and heroes from all parts of the world charging into the unknown, setting steel and magic against the most impossible foes, with each time wondering if this would be the last. Storms gather on the horizon, and evil rises from the waters of despair. These are tales of endless adventure. These are the Awakened Fables. After discovering the role of Erfoxal in attempting to distract the party from the necromancer, the group made use of the teleportation circles of the Church of Morsilla to travel north to Ustre. However, their attempt goes awry as the goddess Morsilla takes a direct hand in their journey, splitting the party's bodies from their souls and sending the two halves to different locations. The Sanctum of the Temple of Morsilla in Ustre, and the Sanctum of the Monastery of the Sun Soul. The group discovered that both locations had come under harsh attack from undead forces, and by combining their efforts, liberated both Ustre and the monastery before picking up the path north once more.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Return to Esturan podcast. With me, we have our usual gang of intrepid adventurers with Addison, Luke, Michael, and Rob. As of our last session, our players found that they had attempted to use the teleportation circle within Escher Ridge to provide some emergency support to the city of Ustri, which was the last known location of our very slippery necromancer. However, upon using the teleportation circle in the Temple of Morsilla, Morkan's patron goddess, they found that they both ended up in two separate locations. However, after being attacked by various hordes...
Yeah, I can cast a minor illusion. Actually, that's not going to help. That's only a minute.
Can I loot the Skull Lord?
Sorry?
Can I loot the Skull Lord?
You may try and do so.
Not so much looking for treasure, but for, clues.
Clues? Okay, roll me in. Do you want to use your passive investigation?
Yeah, that's 23.
23? Alright. So, you begin to investigate the Skull Lord over the course of your short rest. Obviously, this isn't overly intensive, so you are going to be able to get the full benefits while you're resting. Now, as before, you are able to ascertain that it looks like a great deal more work has been put into the ongoing construction of this particular Skull Lord. Much like the undead that you guys have been dealing with so far, it has been a strange conglomerate of a few different elements. It seems to have a metal core which is wrapped around some sort of magical reagent with the undead body parts and vines to compensate for any rot, covering up the outside. So between all that, it has made for a formidable foe. You can see that the metal does seem to be made out of copper, and you know instantly that this must be where the various missing produce of the previous mine, Conard mine, must have disappeared into the clutches of the necromancer, and this must be what he must be using them for. Aside from that, you aren't able to find anything that seems to be overly important. The staff that the Skull Lord was using, having shattered upon its death, looks like it was a relatively powerful magical item, however, and with that one you focus your attention upon it, noting that it looks like this one has been crudely constructed, but you aren't able to recognize any of the standard construction quirks that might belong to one of the greater noble houses which are proficient in creating magical items. So, to you, it looks like that the staff itself was a bit of a home job.
Alright. Okay, so after that, did we end up barricading ourselves in, or?
Yeah, I could cast I could do prestidigitation to do, to assist Trinket with the cobwebs and stuff blocking the entrance.
The stealth.
Yes.
In that case, you guys should have the option to either roll survival or to roll deception. Wow, I completely blanked on that one. Which one would you guys like to go with?
I'm going with deception.
+8 deception.
All right. $16 and an 18. All right, so for an average outcome of 17. In that case, you guys are going to be able to successfully hide all manners of your presence at this particular location from your normal level of perception from humanoids and possibly undead.
Nice one.
Okay, so you said that you guys were going to just try and blend in and make it so it doesn't look like anybody is actually currently there. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So easy enough then. So you guys very quickly set about reestablishing some of the protections and other minor quirks of the Temple of Morsilla. Over the course of the next hour, you and your investigations of the immediate surroundings that you're familiar with, you are able to see that there does seem to be some powerful undead beings currently roaming through the streets of Ustry, but you don't see any sign of any humanoid or living presence. Many of the trees and houses surrounding the church have all been destroyed, and additionally, you guys are able to confirm that the various wisps seem more intent on just lingering around as opposed to causing any particular damage.
Okay, cool. Better than them attacking us. Let me roll my hit dice. Yes, 7 hit points. That's right.
You got more than that. You got heaps. Go to the short rest, and you can.
Yeah, you can take how many you've got per level.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Alright, I'll take half of them then, just in case we decide to have another nap.
so how much do you gain from a short rest? Because that's doing it in D&D Beyond doesn't work that way.
It does. You can click on it, and then you go roll hit die to go to the short rest thing.
Yeah. And you add that number of hit points on.
Yeah.
Right.
1d6 plus 2. Okay.
Okay, I see what's happening.
Yeah.
I can click how many I want to get rid of, but when I press roll hit die, it doesn't roll the ones that I want to get rid of. It just rolls 1.
Yeah, you got to click it off. I
Yeah,
did it last week and did 6 to get back to 4.
Okay. That's all right. So I did 8.
All of the healing. Wow, I did a good number on you guys last week, didn't I?
If I do,
Yes.
I'm going to roll 3d10 plus 2.
Oh, and I get my
Actually, I'll do 4d10 plus 2.
what's the name spells back?
24 hit points.
Warlock spells. Nice.
Cool.
Of which there are only 2 anyway, so who cares?
Alright, I'm back up to full.
Huzzah!
Short rests feel a little bit overpowered considering, like, in later levels, how many, hit die you can think. I don't know.
They feel a little what?
I feel a little overpowered.
Well,
Like, you don't get, considering I don't get any spells back, I guess, but just hit points wise.
That's fair. Well, I think it's meant to be a bit more of a relic from the earlier D&D days, where you are kind of meant to use them as a resource, and a DM is kind of meant to throw enough challenges at you in a bit more of a dungeon crawl that you do actually have to use them. But in my experience, a lot of in 5e at the very least, it's kind of hard to do a full-on dungeon crawl like that.
Yeah.
that's only the 4th time playing 5e I've ever done that.
It's just so many other options for it.
Yeah, decent healer was the start.
Yeah, well.
I mean, to be fair, the offer was there for Addison to pick up a level in Cleric.
But I don't have enough whiz, so I feel like it's just 2 opposite spellcasting abilities, you know? To be fair, I could have started in Cleric. but I did not.
But you didn't. All right.
Sorry about that. I'm back, by the way. Did we take a short rest?
Yes, everybody's taking a short rest. Make sure to apply everything in D&D Beyond or through here. Kind of your call. All right. So, as you guys get to
them off, and they bloody did everything. Sorry.
Sorry?
I marked everything off in a short rest, and I went there. Oh, maybe I have to go. Needs to confirm it. Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
All right. So, yes, like I was saying, you guys, as you get towards the end of your short rest, you begin to presumably eye off the stones which are blocking this particular corridor or down here. Now, even as you begin to investigate it, Nero, you are able to establish that it looks like most of the rocks in that particular area are unstable enough that if you guys aren't very careful in moving them, there's a fairly good chance you may just end up bringing that entire wing of the temple down.
Let us move. If we decide to move these rocks, is there a path on the opposite side? Can we tell, or is it just a full-on cave-in?
Isn't it the exit?
Sorry?
Isn't that the exit?
No.
No. Okay.
So the exit is the one leading to the left of the map that you guys can see.
Okay. And so if we aren't careful moving these, it'll cause a cave-in. But is there, can we see a corridor going further on that direction, past the rocks?
Yes, you can.
Okay. If we decide to go past these rocks further down, I believe we need to be very careful with these rocks. I don't know if you guys feel like going down there, exiting, or pissing off to the monastery. Your call.
Could I get out a window?
Sorry?
Could I get out a window?
Out a window? That shouldn't be too much problem.
Is there much... We're far too high to consider just climbing down.
It's about a 2-story drop from the windows. They're fairly high windows leading from the sanctuary of Morsilla out into the city. You guys are able to go out directly through the front door. You haven't seen necessarily any dangers between yourself and the outside at the current time. But it shouldn't be too difficult for you to just do a drop if you are so inclined from the windows.
Okay, so you gonna drop down, Nero?
Why don't we go out the front door?
Yeah, but I mean, how did the Skull Lord get in here anyway?
Probably through the front door.
Yeah. But what led
Let's
him?
not take the easy way, guys.
What
Any
led
way
him
he
to
likes.
the front door? Okay, so at the front door.
I think out the window. The front door will be watched.
Yes, that makes sense to me.
This is true.
Well, why doesn't someone go out and check it out? Someone who has
I'm
the
happy.
capacity to turn almost invisible and drop off the face of the planet.
I jump out the window.
All right. So when you jump out the window and brace yourself for impact, you land in the streets of Ustreet. So you can see that most of the houses nearby seem to have been torn apart as opposed to burnt down. So you are able to very quickly establish that it looks like it's more the only thing that has been set upon Ustreet seems to be the mindless hordes which are around. However, while you can see one or two fairly powerful looking undead, you can also only see you can see that there are a variety of wisps which still linger throughout the street. Again, they don't seem overly offensive to your presence. In the distance, you can also see in the distance to the west of the church, you can see a building which looks like a fairly large town hall, and in front of it there seems to be an immense wooden barricade which has been looks like badly put and rapidly erected in front of the entire place.
Can I creep down and investigate the front door to see if it's safe to exit?
Yeah. You're using your passive stealth?
I was going to roll. Glad I did. Really glad I did.
Maybe you should.
I'm also going to pass without trace.
Fair enough. All right. So as opposed to relying on your passive stealth of what, 20, 21?
No, it's only 18.
Only 18. All right. So you rolled a 2 in that case. Alrighty. So, with pass without trace, that brings you up to a 20 anyway. All right. So you have a quick scope around of the boundaries of the temple, and you are very quickly able to establish that while there are undead roaming the streets, it doesn't look like any of them seem to be going out of their way to intervene with the events which are going on at the temple. The front door is currently open, and the only danger you can see inside are the wisps. Aside from that, you can also see that there do seem to be a number of archers on the other side of the barricade from the town hall, currently facing the temple as if expecting an attack at any time.
I go back in through the front door and yell and come straight up right behind. No, I'm not going to be a dick. I'm just going to come in and say, "Hey, the coast is clear."
Is that the front door there where I'm pinging?
Ping again?
Boing.
Yep, correct.
Okay.
If the coast is clear, you say, then I will go. Head to the front door.
And there's survivors barricaded in the town hall. Maybe a good place to head next.
We should go help them out.
What about the other places that we were at?
We don't know where
Check out the monastery.
Don't you want to be reduced to 0 hit points by
a banshee.
a banshee again?
Yeah, good times. Let's go save the townsfolk, and then we go save the monks.
Good plan. One step at a time.
The monks, from what you've said, it seemed like they were in a fairly neutral position and able to care for themselves for longer, whereas townsfolk don't appear to be in pretty grave danger.
All right. To the town hall.
Alrighty. So, who would like to go first out the front door?
I will sneak out.
Wait,
Right.
pass without trace. Is it an area of effect, or is it centered on you?
It is an area of... Ooh,
Yeah, is it like
Is it
in
everyone
the
with
area, or
me?
is it centered? Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh,
Because that way we all get a +10 if we're next to you.
do I? That makes that a 39 roll then.
Oh yes, because you need that.
yeah, I
actually
can choose.
changed
So.
dimensions by accident.
So what just happened then? Sorry. What did Morkan do?
No, I'm just
We all-
checking because Nero cast pass without trace.
We all have pass without trace.
All right. Do we have a new map, Samuel?
You do not for now. So it is just a standard town setting, and you guys are heading into the middle of it. All right.
Okay.
So as you guys head out the front of the door and wrapped with the power of Nero, you are able to have a quick check around and are able to establish that it looks like the town itself seems to have been split into two halves. One where the various undead forces seems to have rallied and destroyed a fairly large number of the city, and then the other half which has been almost directly cut off by the various barricades which have been set up. It looks like the town hall seems to be the epicenter of the resistance, and you are able to begin heading towards it fairly quickly.
Cool. I'll give a couple of Bardic Inspirations on our way. Who would like a Bardic Inspiration?
I always like a Bardic Inspiration.
I would not mind one.
There you go.
How many do you have?
I have 4 per short rest.
So we
You can
could
give us
each have
everyone.
one?
Or you can save them for next time.
I want to save one because one of them I can use for some mental inspiration stuff. So it's worth.
I think
Yeah.
I get the least use out of them. So maybe not me.
I'm
Okay.
fine with not having one. Like,
Okay.
In that case, me.
Oh, so that'll leave me with one. Okay, cool.
Aye.
All right,
Done.
you guys good?
Sorry to
Yes.
be docile. I'm just rolling my hit dice now. So I just roll. If I have 10d8 hit dice, I roll 10d8.
It might be 10d8 plus something usually. I think it's plus your
it's
con.
plus your con.
Constitution.
Yeah, my con is at +0. So
Yes.
That's if you use all of them. Apparently you are.
I'm now at full health.
Probably for the best.
I mean, yeah.
Were you at full health before the last two? Because you can save some.
That would take. I was at 9, and this has put me at 54 of 53 hit points. So
Save one.
Save that one.
Yeah, save it.
Save that. So you got one hit dice left to spend.
Oh no, damn! I hate that.
So why did he roll 10d8 then for the short rest? Is that
Level 10. He chose to use 10 of his hit dice.
So we could have all chosen that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's not what happens when I do a short rest on D&D Beyond.
Go to
Yeah,
short rest, you choose the amount of hit dice.
You got to press the roll hit dice button as many times as you use hit dice. It's annoying.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it all in the one roll.
Oh, okay.
Dumb.
Well, that I'll take. I did not hit one.
Yeah.
It's just.
Wow, a D6. That's such a shit hit dice. But I guess casters don't have great hit dice.
Says the paladin.
Yeah, with me and my D10.
Good old D10s.
There you go. There you go.
Just hold a second. So that's.
So you could have saved yourself the greater healing potion, by the way.
Yes, I could have. Oh well. I didn't understand that that's the way it worked, but lesson learned.
That's alright.
and the only reason to save one is so that I can spend it in a future short rest.
Yes, pretty much.
And you get half your hit dice back on a long rest.
Cool.
And you heal all your hit points on a long rest.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
Let's go.
All right. So as you guys begin to approach the barricade directly in front of the town hall, you can see that there are a number of archers which are set up in a watch directly facing the Temple of Morsilla. It looks like many of these archers seem to be old, grizzled veterans, as well as a number of younger youths who don't look entirely sure with a bow in their hand. Archers, yes. No archers. We're not admiring the architecture.
I was just wondering.
It's just a McDonald's on the
Town
way.
halls
there,
offer, well known for having archers.
Alright.
Yep, no golden archers here, no McDonald's.
No Macca's.
All right,
Cool.
so what would you guys like to do?
So they just right there. Go ahead.
How close are we to the town hall? Are we at the doors pretty much? Like, do they seem wary of us five appearing out of the temple?
You guys currently pass without trace. They can't really see you.
Yeah, I forgot we were stopping.
I just go knock on the front door.
Just wait a sec. Just wait. I write a little note saying, "Help is on its way. Don't shoot it." And I give it to Trimp and say, "Trimp, deliver."
All right.
Can I knock now?
You guys would have to be manipulating your way around the barricades if you are so inclined to knock.
I think. Oh no, I can't just call out and it attracts the rest.
You're a half orc, dude. Racism exists.
Is Austria a majority human settlement?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Not a great idea. Send in.
All
My
five
fault, they're
matter.
racist.
Yeah, that's true. Right. Shit. Do we want to call out and potentially alert our position, or just go over the barricades?
I'm going to sneak through.
We're waiting on the outside. Let us know when it's good. See if they have a way of letting visitors in.
So, from a quick check, you can see that the barricades are rather poorly made. You guys may be able to force your way between them, or stealthily sneak between them. It depends on how you guys kind of want to deal with it.
If I force my way in, can I just fix it as I come in, like just so it doesn't ruin their defenses?
You should be able to. Do you have mending?
No, I do not.
Okay.
If I pick it up and just move it to the side, like similar to not dissimilar to moving a fence gate and then placing it back behind me.
Fair enough. All right. In that case, roll me strength.
See.
Can I assist him in that, and we'll just walk through casually?
Sure.
Cool. Did that wrong. Oh no. We'll the assist gives me advantage, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Which you
Yeah.
kind of need, apparently, since you're
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, an unnatural 20. That's much better. Alrighty. So, the men in front of you are very startled as it looks like an invisible force suddenly lifts up the one of the barricades that they have been relying on, and very quickly many of them begin to fumble as they start to set the arrows onto their bows. However, you are very, very easily able to just simply lift the barricade and then put it down behind you.
Perfect. Hello, we mean no harm. I just wanted to let you know that we would like to help.
So the various defenders in front of you just simply look around in confusion before one of the older ones just barks out, "Who is it? Someone invisible? Are you a ghost or one of the undead?"
No, we're just sneaking away from the undead. Quite the opposite of undead, actually. We're alive, but really alive, not dead alive. You know what I mean?
That doesn't seem to really assuade them too much more. You can see the older man's eyes just narrow before he motions to some of the others to again keep their bows knocked. At that particular time, he steps forward and puts his weapon down, making himself somewhat vulnerable to any particular advances. If you say you're not undead, then you won't mind revealing your face to us.
Of course. And I step out of the invisibility, or like the pass without trace, making myself very obvious.
Same.
All right. So when that occurs, there is a sudden cry of fear, and the man in front of you just directly yells, "He's wearing the symbol of Morsilla. He's here to enact her wrath."
She does not have wrath. She is quite benevolent. Why would you? What? No, I'm here to enact her wrath on the undead, not on you people. I hope that's just clarifying right now.
So the man in front of you looks dubious. At this point, he has pulled back out his sword, and he is holding it in front of you, holding it in front of him. You can see that he's old enough that he has a distinct tremble to the sword, even as he tries to bring it up to face you directly.
Can I get my shield ready, just out in case?
It may be time for me to do some nice stuff.
Don't be nice.
Convincing stuff, right?
Quite possibly. They don't seem to be very trusting.
No, they don't. Do a bit of mantle of inspiration or enthralling performance. I appear next to him and begin to sing and calm him as best as I can.
Oh yes, because I know I would be calmed if a halfling appeared out of nowhere and began screaming at me.
Well, if you can save against it. And him and 3 of his mates.
3. Ooh, you spoil me so. Give me a sec. 4d20. All right, so it looks like the highest there got a 14.
So none of them made it then.
There you go. All right, flavor it up for us. How are you calming these
Okay.
heats down?
You've been worried, you've been scared. For help, you didn't dare, but now it's here. You needn't fear. The Tinkrit Bardi Co. and Adventuring Co. is here. We're here to save you, my fine feathered friends, with your feathered bows and with its sharp, sharp ends. Now let's kill the undead. Let's turn this place red with the filthy blood of I've ran out of rhymes.
Filthy blood. In the mud.
In the mud.
Let's
Let's push them in the mud. Thank
Yeah.
you, my good friend Morkan.
You're welcome. Anytime, my friend.
Doesn't rhyme really that well.
Don't
Blood
think
and
about
mud.
it. Don't think about it.
All right.
I'm very
and
close.
DM,
I'm very close. I'm very close to using prestidigitation to say, I'm sorry, they're all idiots, but we do come in peace. On a big banner that floats above the
He loves me.
barricade.
They're all charmed. They think that's a magnificent performance, even though it's not.
All right. So after your performance, there is a distinct moment of silence as it looks like all of them are just trying to comprehend what the heck just happened. After that, there is a sudden clapping noise as one of them just begins to clap, apparently from your apparently impressed by your impromptu performance, and very quickly the clapping is incredulously picked up by the rest of the group as well.
I bow and point to my fellow cast members.
I also bow.
So the man in front of you is less aggressive, but you get the impression that his grumpiness is more a characteristic of his rather than any effect of the overall events which are going on around you.
Can you let us in now? Now that you've managed to wheedle your way in there.
Yes. My good men, please let my other friends in.
He looks very grumpy, but the older man just motions, and then with that, the barricade nearby is lifted in order to allow you guys in. So, with that, the older man gives a bit of a sigh before he turns and glowers even more. All right, so you can say you're not one of the undead hordes, but what are you doing here?
We've been tracking them to kill them, to find that necromancer who's been raising them, and we've been tracking him for weeks now, ever since the army first put us upon their track. Was it Captain? I want to say Vines, but
Commander Droit.
Commander Droit. Thank you.
We're here on behalf of Commander Droit in the name of the King to track down and destroy whoever's creating these undead.
Well said, good salty.
All right. If that's your story, then I guess I can't really go ahead and disbelieve it now, can I?
Would you like to speak to Commander Droit?
He eyes you suspiciously and then looks over the rest of the group. I don't see him with you.
No, but we have sending stones where you can speak to him.
It would be a convenient time to report.
He gives a bit of a snarky look before he just motions towards you. All right, if you've got some method of talking to him, let's hear it.
I show him the stone and begin connecting with Droit.
All right, so you guys go through the usual stuff of having to wait for an aid in order to come through and ensure that you guys are able to get onto Commander Droid. But in very short order, he is on the line. Sir Pipe Drone, has there been any further developments? We've heard information from the Church of Morsilla, and at the current time, the King has authorized the army to begin gearing up and heading towards the immediate vicinity of Escherridge and Ustri.
Yes. Well, my good man, we left the city, whose name I can't recall.
Escherridge.
From the Isle. Yeah, Escherridge, thank you. And now we're at Ustri, having stepped out, being teleported there, and being found ourselves in the middle of an undead blight. So I thought you should be informed of that. And this poor chap who's manning the town hall walls was a little bit leery of us, so I suggested that he could speak to you. Would you have a couple of words for him?
I might be able to convince him, and then if you pass over the stone, then I will do my best. Do you know his name by any chance?
Oh, I forgot to ask. Peasant, what's your name?
Tinker, you cannot call him peasant.
He's charmed. I can do whatever I like.
Yes, never mind. Sometimes I forget.
So he glowers at you before he picks something out of his teeth, and then eventually begins to reply. My name's Matthias Morin, my lord.
He doesn't sound very charmed to me. Okay, fair enough.
He's just grumpy.
Well met, Mr. What was it again? Matthias? Yes, well met. Here is Captain Commander Droit. Have a word.
All right. So you guys are able to see that he is talking and only get half the conversation. It sounds like Matthias is a very distrustful man by nature, and it takes him apparently a number of attempts to get through to Commander Droit and ask him several suspicious questions, including some information that makes you wonder whether Matthias might actually be a little bit higher up in the army than he might have been indicating. After about 5 minutes, he eventually passes the stone back to Tinkrit, at which point Droit simply says, "Do not put me back onto that man ever again."
Yes. Tedious. I say to the stone, but not to Matthias. Yes, Matthias, it's tedious dealing with all this undead, isn't it? Yes, yes.
So, you said that you have further information?
Yes.
Well, Escher Ridge appears to be safe. The necromancer had placed a key upon the heir to Barony Foxhall, which the church was able to remove, but he had been visiting Escher Ridge. And we followed him to Esturan, where the city's almost fallen to an undead horde that has ransacked and blasphemed the temple. And we've managed to make our way to the last holdouts among the population fighting the undead. That is the current situation.
Right. So I have heard most of this from the various the high priest of the Temple of Morsilla, the Mother Temple of Morsilla in the capital. As I've mentioned, they have been able to go past the House of Lords in order to directly communicate with the king, and have advised that the march of the undead is quite unacceptable. So the king is, of course, sending various troops to your immediate area, and they should arrive within the next few days.
Excellent, excellent.
A few days, it will be dead by then.
No, that's not the plan.
Commander, what would you have us do? Would you have us stay here and help with the defense of the city until the army arrives, or do you wish us to continue our pursuit of the necromancer?
How far away do you believe the necromancer to be?
A matter of days. We made up significant ground the necromancer by teleporting directly to Esturan.
And do you have any idea of what the necromancer may be planning?
We have no idea at this stage.
It can't be good.
He seems to be growing his powers and experimenting upon the nature of the undead constructs he makes, and they're much more powerful now than they were when we first encountered them in the south. They're now much stronger. Most recently, we had to destroy a skull lord within the temple.
A skull lord reinforced with the copper he dug out of the Cunard mine.
All right. So you're saying that he is intending to go through and create more powerful necromantic constructs.
We think that's likely.
That is the case, then it may be He pauses for a moment, and you can hear him slightly muttering to himself all manners of options that he might need to go through before he eventually deliberates and settles upon one. My recommendation is for you to try and bolster the local community in your area. So, if you are able to rescue Ustri and fortify their various defenses, then we may be able to use that as a base from which to take on the Necromancer itself. So you said that passed on some previous messages that the Necromancer in question may be of a noble family?
It definitely has noble contacts.
We know from the heir to Barony Foxhall that he is in fact, and I don't have it, his name here, Sam. I left my book that I write this stuff down up in Sydney. I'm not in Sydney at the moment. What was his name again? he was a mate of he was a close friend of the heir to Barony Foxhall at the Major's school in the capital.
All right.
We did have his name. What was it again, sir?
Sorry?
What was his name again?
The heir or...
Foxhall.
No, the Necromancer.
Oh, the Necromancer. Just a sec.
Yeah. No, so it was a friend of Salape Foxhall's.
I know the first name completely offhand, but the last name, give me a sec. Alright, yeah, the first name was just Joris. Or Joris. I don't know the French pronunciation.
Yari.
Probably. Alright, well, you, through our previous communications, you understand that any interactions with the nobility does possess a variety of different dangers. However, I believe that we should be able to use this to push through the House of Lords and possibly have the main force of the army redirected towards this valley, as opposed to simply those which have been authorized and unleashed by the various churches. If that is the case, then we may be able to wipe out this necromancer in one fell swoop.
Excellent. Excellent plan.
Well, Commander, we'll improve the defenses of the city and do what we can to clear the undead, and then proceed to continue tracking the necromancer. I take it that's the King's command?
That is the King's command.
So what are we going to do with those monks then?
Well, we have to get our souls unsplit somehow.
We
How
have
do
to
we
go
do
back
that?
there. We focus and we get zapped back there.
I don't know how we're going to do that. We should probably sort that out.
Yeah.
I
Can
figure
you cast your anti-undead thing again, Morkan?
not until we take a long rest.
Let's have a long rest.
One nap at the moment.
Let's have a long rest. Teleport back to that room. Work out how we get those monsters out of the room. Then come back to the...
Why aren't they teleporting out if they knew the way it works?
I think it's because they knew our souls were split and their souls are not split. Because when we teleported to where we were supposed to go in this temple, something went awry. I'm not sure why. It was not meant to rhyme. I apologize. I'm not taking the bard position, I swear.
Maybe Commander Droit can seek some advice on this from the High Priest in the capital, and we can
Quite possibly. Yeah. But I think in the meantime, we should probably sort out whatever is going on with the monastery.
Well, let's make sure this barricade is secure and can withstand an assault, and there's not an imminent assault, and then soup ourselves up and head back into that room, eliminate the undead there, try somehow to retrieve the monks in that room.
So I did cut out just for a bit there, back before. Have we found out what happened to you? Have we asked them what happened to you yet?
No.
Don't think so, no.
Because I imagine this isn't. Yeah. So
It's
I
a
go
every
over.
day.
Yeah, this is not usually just random undead wandering around, but also like, why aren't the undead attacking? So I go and ask questions like that to the old mate.
Advice.
So what is going on here? What happened? And why are the undead no longer attacking?
He takes another moment to consider his words before he picks something from his teeth again and just flicks it away. It was about 3 days back where there was a sudden groaning noise which woke up everyone in the city, and after that a horde of undead creatures just began to spill out of the Temple of Morsilla. It is after that, most of the town just began to fight against these hordes, but unfortunately they were simply too powerful. We were able to push them back after some time. The bastards don't seem to like light or arrows, but what you can see around the city now is what we have. About 1 in every 3 people have died.
And where are the undead now? I've seen some roaming just the streets, but they're not here in number anymore? Have you tried forging out?
So he stops for a moment and he gives you a look. What do you mean they're not here in numbers? Last we knew they were bolstered up in the temple itself.
The temple's empty.
Well, there's those rocks.
But there will not be an issue. They cannot get past the rocks.
So he lets out a bit of a swear and then just makes some motions to the various men around them. A group of 5 people come forward and begin to move the barricade and begin to head tentatively towards the temple for examination. I don't know what these bastards have been doing, but they've been doing hit-and-run tactics towards our group for the past 3 days. If that is the case and they've all fled the city, then we've been remaining on alert for far too long. I guess it could be the case that they might have been able to successfully get out through the other side of the city where we can't see them, but he just spits at that point and then lapses into a bunch of very irate mutterings.
All right, should we accompany them through this sweep of the city? That seems
Yes,
to be what
that's a
they're
good
intent on
idea.
doing.
Yes, we should. And maybe I should scout ahead,
Mm-hmm.
as per usual. Miro, will you join me ahead?
All right, it'll be my pleasure.
All right.
All right. So,
Oop, I'll get to roll that one again anyway.
yeah, I was about to say.
That's more like it.
Oh, come on. What's the difference between a 12 and a 30 when it comes to your stealth?
Fair whack.
All right. So, to confirm, it is Tinkrit and Nero joining the sweep, or is it everyone?
I might
Give it-
stay back and tend to whoever's wounded in the temple.
I might stay back and just train up some of the men then and get them actually ready for battle. If they're all shaky and stuff before.
I'll go.
Perfect. All right. So your sweep of the city begins to reveal that your observations in the temple are absolutely correct. While there has been an undead presence in the temple that you guys have largely been able to take care of, and apparently many of the undeads that you did take care of were responsible for a good majority of the attacks, it looks like the undead themselves seem to have evacuated the city. In the course of the sweep through, you do find another 5 undead creatures, but through superiority of numbers and the sheer skills of your particular characters, you are able to subdue them very quickly. Now, there is a further observation in that you are unable to find any dead bodies, either human or animal, which have been left within the city on this particular half.
Uh-oh. Maybe we should have had someone who could track with us.
Nero's with us.
I can investigate for signs of where they've been taken.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yep. All right. Let me guess. You're going to use your passives?
I'm going to use my...
Passive.
Should have used passive, shouldn't I?
I mean, it's 24 anyway, isn't it? Or did you just accidentally double roll?
For some reason, I thought I'd have advantage on that. I'm just trying to figure out why.
Don't you have a Bardic Inspiration?
I do, but the first roll was a nat 1, so...
It'd be a waste.
Why did I think I'd have inspiration?
It was at advantage, so the nat 1 doesn't count.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. All right, so with the 24, you are able to locate several areas where it looks like bodies have been cut down, and in one or two cases, you've been able to find tiny little body parts, so maybe at most a hand or a finger, but largely it looks like every other body part has just been, it looks like manually disturbed and then taken out of the city by a single undead horde. So as near as you can tell, this event seems to have happened about 20 hours ago.
What does it look like they were cut with? Like with tools or teeth?
So it looks like most of them seem to have been cut with rudimentary tools. So you are going to assume knives and maybe some swords, maybe hatchets in some cases.
I see. Well, I report that back. This wasn't a raid. This was a harvest.
I figured as much. So we're going to find the blobby plot again, right? There's going to be a whole mess, and I do mean mess, of these characters, creatures.
I asked the guards, were any taken alive?
So the guards just look at you blankly. Were any of who taken alive?
The villagers.
They give each other a bit of a troubled look. So, as far as I can tell, nobody has been taken alive. Any living have been brought back to the central area.
All right, so they're just harvesting the dead.
Like they've been doing all along. So we can expect another big mother trying to stop us.
And sorry, Sam, did you say that I could see where they'd been dragged to?
You can see that there is a central pathway. It looks like they have been leaving the city through the northern gate.
Oh, so not in the temple at all?
Correct.
So they came in through the temple, but out through the north gate?
Correct.
Now I'm with you. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Right. Do you reckon they could have been teleported into the temple?
They must have been. They couldn't have summoned that many.
Anyway, I'm not there. Just thinking out loud.
All right. So the sweep of the city goes through, and you are able to wrap it up roughly 2 hours after you set out with the initial search parties. With the rest of the city now secure, Matthias is very quick to, again, spit and swear before he introduces you all to the mayor of Ustri, one Camille Sayres. So she is a middle-aged woman, and she looks she looks like she's been prematurely aged almost, simply from the stress of the last few days. Even from asking around, it turns out that she has herself lost her husband in the raids.
I'm sorry to hear
Well, she
that.
better not come with us, because she's going to find him.
Not all of them.
All of him, just in 8 different places.
Eventually, they'll have all of him. If she cares to put him to rest.
What was her name again, Sam?
Camille Sayres. Just a sec, I'll put in the chat for you for the spelling.
Well, Miss Sayres, our condolences for your loss. It is truly a tragedy that's befallen Ustray.
She simply peers back at you. It looks like she's too tired to form much of a response to that reply. She just gives you a bit of a nod. Thank you. Is there anything that we can do to help the King's Guard before they arrive?
Was there any warning of this? Was there any looking back now with the signs?
She shakes her head. It just happened so suddenly. The high priest of the Temple of Morsilla, she advised that that everything had been fine, and she did advise that there had been some problems down south in Esheridge, but she never mentioned that it might come in the form of undead hordes. We were just completely taken by surprise.
And no one's seen the high priest?
She was one of the first to fall. She was overwhelmed by that great monstrosity that even now lies dead in the middle of the worship hall.
Yes. Do any of the priests still live?
She thinks for a moment before frowning. I think one among the priests is currently still alive. He's not what you would call a traditional priest. He enjoys his vices a little bit too much, but to his credit, he has been dealing with the funeral rites and leading the prayers ever since we underwent the attacks, so I suppose he's all that we've got at the moment.
I think we talk with him before we go. Do we speak with him now?
If you'd like. He's the one over there holding the rum bottle. And she points over where you can see a fairly portly-looking priest, probably a little bit redder in the face than is socially acceptable for one of his station, but he seems at the very least to be currently comforting a young family.
I wait for a discreet moment, then go over and strike up a conversation with him.
All right. So it takes maybe about 10 minutes before he is able to peel himself away. You can see that he very nervously wipes his forehead before he takes a swig from the rum bottle, before turning around and examining the crowds to see if there's anybody else that might need his attention. It doesn't take long before his eyes just directly make contact with yours, and he quirks one of his eyebrows up. Is there something I can help you with?
I'm sorry for your loss, priest. But tell me, did you, was there any warning that this was coming?
He squints at you for a moment. I don't recognize your presence from one of our masses. Who are you, good sir?
I'm Nero. We are from the party that cleared out your temple.
Well, like anything, I suppose it might have been evident in hindsight, but I cannot recall any indicator that the great goddess was angry with our fair city. The hordes themselves just abruptly began to spill out of the inner sanctum of her temple, and once they had gotten past the main door, that was it. The city was very quickly overrun.
Why would somebody do this?
He gives a shrug and takes another drink from his bottle. At this proximity, you can smell that the rum in question could barely be called palatable, let alone anything else. And you are a little bit worried if he ever happens to get too close to a open flame. There is many reasons that people might do this, my son. It is a part of sentience that everybody will strive to try and control the powers that are reserved for the great gods above. But I think that you are already aware of this particular vice of mankind, let alone any of the other races.
Indeed. It's and does he seem to be lying? Does he seem to be telling the truth?
Passive insight?
20.
20? All right. As near as you can tell, he is a little bit drunk, but he doesn't seem to be taking any particular means to try and hide anything from you. What he's saying to you is just outright exactly what he thinks.
In vino veritas.
That's the one.
There's a priest. How were you rebuilt?
Sorry, say again, Michael?
How were you rebuilt?
He looks around and gives a bit of a shrug. It's a little bit too early for that, but I suppose that we will do as any people do during a time of great tragedy. We will beg the favor of our neighbors. We will ask for help from the capital and the Mother Temple of Morsilla, and if worse comes to worse, then I think our city shall simply cease to be, and its inhabitants will move to other, more secure locations.
Now, my friends and I will soon be leaving. Is there anything that we can do to help before we go?
He looks ruefully down at his bottle. Do you have any better quality alcohol?
And I reach deep into my pack, Sam, and I find my most precious possession, and I hand him my magic apple.
Wow, that's a flashback.
Take this, priest.
He looks at the apple dubiously before giving a shrug. It is better than nothing, and I thank you for your charity, my son. But I must continue to help the bereaved so that their family may find solace in the afterlife.
Of course, of course.
All right, so what are the rest of you guys doing in this point? Olga, you said that you're helping to train up a variety of the other soldiers in order to help them stave off any further attacks. Ciruimon, what have you been up to?
Resting.
Sleeping. Noted.
How long this will take?
Also, Tiro. Always sleeping.
Just cast sleep on himself and he's done.
I could cast sleep on him if he wants.
Imagine having a character that could only sleep by casting sleep on him, like an insomniac character. He can only have a long rest by casting sleep. So you have to make sure you have at least one spell slot.
And make sure you're all out like not within 20 feet of him.
Yeah.
So why did you learn to cast magic? Oh, I wanted to manipulate the forces of reality. How about you? I just wanted to get a decent night's sleep.
I think if Nero can report back his findings from the tracking, we should probably have a discussion about what we do.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
All right.
So, which way were they going?
North.
Can you put the map back up, Sam?
Sure.
So they're heading. So north from Ustray is into the
Mountains.
Rundenair Mountains. Look, we've caught up quite a long way with this necromancer. I don't think we should spare any more time here. I think we should continue to follow the trail heading north.
We seem to have shored some stuff up here, but have we really fulfilled our requirements from Commander Droit?
Yes.
Should we stay here until the army comes down, just to make sure?
We don't have the time.
The
the undead's cleared off. They are following him north. He's obviously got whatever he wanted out of his trade, and we need to keep going after him. The town's secure now. The townsfolk can repair the walls and take whatever defensive mechanisms are necessary to survive the next 2 to 3 days before the army arrives.
I totally agree.
He's less than a day in front of us. This is the closest we've been.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's rock! Says
Okay.
Bard.
Alrighty. So with your mind set, I presume you guys begin to beg to see if there's any additional provisions, or you're just going to assume the city might not have them at this point?
We don't
I think we can just requisition whatever we need, including
Yes.
some horses, perhaps.
Horses.
Yes.
I mean, our job is to track down the person that did this to your town. You can help us, or we can report your lack of help to the king.
And cop this.
Oh,
was good.
secret. You
thought it
can't
was
just
gonna be
perform
the-
your way out of every problem that you encounter.
No, I can't. Just most.
That's why he's got the horn.
I've put a lot of effort into getting these points.
That is fair. All right. So once you make your request to Camille, she pauses for a moment before she simply shakes her head. As much as I would like to help you with the horses, prior to the... we have found that they are some of the worst of the foes that we encountered, and as a result, the main stable master of the city released most of his horse stock into the wilderness surrounding the city. If you're able to catch some, then you are more than welcome to them, but we do not have any on hand at the moment. Not until we can catch some of them on our own. They have been tamed already, so I can only imagine you only need to approach them, but yes.
Olga?
Well, we can. Why don't? I mean, look, this sounds like a waste of time, but an option is that those with the greatest survival skills, Ogre and Nero, or Ogre and Morkan, track down some of the horses. We can head off north. If they get horses, they'll be able to catch up with them. I think, though, the best option is just to start heading after the necromancer.
Here's the thing. If we get 2 horses, right?
Hmm.
Me and Tinker can share one. Sulturan and Nero can have another. And Morkan can summon his mount. So if me and Morkan just get 2 horses, we're good.
Okay.
I am happy to do that.
I don't really need a horse. They are a bit faster than me, but not a lot faster than me.
All right, let's just go. Let's just get going.
No time to lose.
They're on foot. We're on foot. They're undead. We're probably able to make a bit better time than trying to organize the herd of cats, which would be the undead.
Zephyr is here, by the way.
Sorry, Addison?
Zephyr's here, by the way. I'm riding Zephyr. I don't care if everyone else is on foot.
I can come on that horse with you, can't I? I'm only wee.
Ask Zephyr.
Okay.
On the other hand, do you speak Celestial?
Celestial.
Yeah.
I think I do. Let me have a look. No.
Look, it can
But I have
understand.
a carrot.
It's intelligent. It can understand common. I'm sure if you ask it, it will. Just tell him to stomp once for yes, stomp twice for no.
Yes. Please tap once for yes. Good celestial being.
I'll let this be up to Sam. Sam, you may decide if Zephyr lets Tinker ride.
All right, so that's a 19 for persuasion. Let's roll a d10. If he rolls a 10, then Zephyr is in a bad mood. There you go. Zephyr is apparently willing to carry young Lord Pipe Drone with him.
Cool. I'll give him a carrot.
Zephyr says thank you. All right, let's head off.
Okay, so who was it that was heading out and trying to catch the other horses?
I think we're just.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to go as fast as we can to catch up on the undead.
Yeah, but can we look out for horses while we go?
Yes, that sounds sensible.
Fair enough. All right. So, in that case, in only a matter of about an hour or so, you guys are able to find enough of the resources and begin to head through the north gate of the city. Now, as you continue on and ride well into the afternoon, you experience a sense of exhaustion like you've never felt before, as if you are, to use the common phrase, a piece butter being scraped over too much bread. You feel completely stretched.
I thought when you said butt, I thought I was heading somewhere else.
Guys, our souls. Did we forget about our souls? The issue there?
Who you calling an asshole?
You, I'm calling you asshole. No, our souls. You know the whole thing about the monks. I think that was an issue. That might be why we are so tired.
Shit.
Yes, we are very close, but I think our souls are more important.
Yeah.
We have to go back.
Everybody.
Well, can't we just think of ourselves? Think in the same way that we did last time to
Just relax and let it take over.
Yeah.
Let's try.
I click my heels.
There's no place like monastery. There's no place like monastery.
All right, I'm relaxing.
All right. So as you guys begin to relax, you feel the sensation of your consciousness suddenly flicking forward, and when you open your eyes, you can hear some gasps as you guys hear various gasps. I believe it's only Olga and one other who managed to get into the room with the monks, isn't it? The rest of you guys were in the original room.
It was
Ciruimon.
I'm pretty sure it was just me.
Yeah.
I thought so. Ciruimon turned up there.
No, he died.
Oh.
Give me a quick sec, then. Where is everyone?
Oh no, at the start I turned up in that top room across from the monks.
Yeah, it was Nero and Sulturan up there with me, and then I went back there and ran across.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys emerge into the room, you can see that there are still the various undead creatures who are scathing around this particular room. Olga, as you emerge, you are able to see that you are surrounded by the various monks, while your various companions are in the room behind you.
Just saying, did we secure our bodies before we did this, or or did we just leave them out in the middle of the fucking forest?
I don't think we have two bodies, do we? Do we have two bodies? We just
No, I thought we just teleported. I thought that was
We may not know.
I'm confused.
when we were.
I'm gonna go back and check. You guys deal with this shit.
when we were fighting, our characters disappeared when you went into the other room. So we don't leave our bodies behind.
Yeah.
Zephyr is looking around in great confusion, however.
Zephyr is confused. I'll probably de-summon it. Because it might be a while.
Does Tinkrit fall to the ground?
Sure.
Why?
All right.
Because you're on the horse.
You guys very quickly emerge into your previous location, and you can see that you have the 5 various constructs surrounding you. Undead constructs. Now, it looks like these ones haven't actually been able to repair the damage that you did to them mere hours ago, but you can't actually see any trace of the singular being that was in there from before. I'm going to give you guys a bonus round. If you guys are able to take these guys out, you'll be able to avoid combat, like going into full initiative.
Cool.
Okay.
Well,
Sam, what are they armed with?
These particular guys, they are armed with a glowing-looking sword, so a long sword.
Okay.
I have my channel divinity again, actually. So I can piss them off, or we can just attack them.
Mm-hmm.
What would you rather do? Run away and then wail on them one at a time?
Maybe. How tough are they? They're not that tough, are they?
Nah, they were 30-something health, I believe.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alrighty, so let's start with Michael. What would you like Nero to do? So you have teleported back to your previous location, directly next to 2 of the constructs.
Are there any shadows in the room?
There are a number of them, pretty much around the edges.
Am I in a shadow?
Yes.
I would like to teleport to a different edge and then bolt straight at the nearest one and attack it from behind,
Okay.
which gives me advantage on my first attack. That would be a sneak attack.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a lot of dice.
It's a lot of dice.
All right, so a 23 and a 22, you are going to successfully hit your target.
Fantastic.
Which target is it?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Is it? Ideally, I would go... Oh, why is it? I hate how you have to switch between hands in order to move something.
I'll just right click, then you can pan.
I'm assuming this guy.
Yeah.
All right, so you go zoop and then flung. Oh, no, that's a wisp. And then flum.
Perfect.
All right, so in that case, you are going to do...
You've got advantage because of shrimp.
But you already have advantage.
Looks like 22 damage to this guy.
Sorry, then I'll hit him with my unarmed attack.
That is also a hit.
And then I'll do a flurry of blows on him. I wouldn't have advantage from Trimp yet, would I?
I put him there, but it's up to Sam.
Where is Trimp?
Whee!
Nope, there is. Dub. Isn't it within 5 feet?
Yeah.
No, you guys are on opposite sides.
Within 5 feet of the target.
Oh, in that case, then yes.
Let's roll a bunch more for
Crits.
Oops. Sorry.
All right, well, looks like you are definitely going to probably slap this guy down. Well, almost down. Flavor it up for me. How would you like to do the damage? You're going to take off most of his health with one attack.
So this is probably I think this is the cruelest I have ever been in combat. So just to savor it for a moment, I've literally just exited existence, reappeared in shadows, sprung like a cat, stabbed him once for a... and then just have my fists explode, my fists just disappear into shadow again, but just going back and forth, pummeling into his chest.
Yep. All right, so there is a squelch, several squelches, I should say, as your fist surges into his chest and begins to rip out tendons and various vines. You do experience the occasional sensation of hitting the metal, which makes up the inner rib cage, but very quickly you pretty much just tear the entire front half of this creature's body away from it.
Fantastic.
All right, and I'm assuming that's it for all your actions? I can never tell with you.
That's my bonus action. That's me.
Alrighty. In that case, Rob, what would Tinker like to do?
Tinker, is it dead?
Sorry?
Is it dead, the one he hit?
No, just
down?
severely damaged.
I will go here, and I will attack this one. And I hope that someone else will knock off that one. So I move 5 foot, and I attack with the Corpse Layer with advantage. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see a nat 20. All right.
Hey.
I'm starting to think that Rob plays with loaded dice because he definitely gets more 20s than everyone else.
Loaded digital dice.
I'm going to roll again just to see if I get 2 20s.
Electronic doping.
Yeah, he's modded his dice.
No, not this time. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. Then has it done the 2 for sneak attack? Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
So that's the crit. Was it 14? Plus 5 is 19. 26. Now for the what's his name, Slayer, and the Green Flame Blade for him. Actually, I'll just cast Green Flame Blade because it's going to get the 2 next to him as well. Spells, Green Flame Blade. Does 3 Green Flame Blade to him and 10 to his 2 buddies. Does that take his mate down?
This one is not down yet.
Oh, even with the 10. But wait, there's more.
I am shook.
There's 5 more damage to him. And as a bonus action, I cast Hex on him. Another 2 points of damage. Is he alive?
Now I need to count this all up. All right, just a sec.
I did 40, if that helps.
Oh, wait, so you're both attacking the same target?
Oh,
No.
sorry, sir. Different.
I did 10 damage to that one that he did 42.
Okay, got it. 10, 40. Oh, okay, I must have miscounted. I apologize. In that case, then yes, the Green Flame Blade would have wiped this guy out.
Okay.
How does he die?
He turns into green ash.
All right, simple. I like it. All right, and his companion over here, how much damage is he taking?
14, 19, 26, 29, 34 points of damage.
34 points. All right.
Oh, hang on. 36 points of damage.
So this is one that has been damaged previously. You have done the exact amount that it needed to die.
Right.
Okay, how's this one go?
He looks down in incredulity as bits of his body fall apart. He is just a head lying on a pile of broken limbs and ribs.
Get back here, I'll bite you.
And then I will move 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Because I've already used my bonus action and can't hide. And that's
All right.
Oh, and I actually, so I moved the hex onto this guy.
This is fair. Okay. Let's move on to Ogre. What would you? You are in the other room. What would you like to do from here? I guess. And no, you're not allowed to throw a monk at him.
How far can you throw your spear?
50 feet, so I can hit that guy. So I will throw it at him twice.
Pew pew. Or rather, I guess there's electricity, so I guess it's more of a boom boom.
Hey.
Oh,
And
there's
another
one.
nat 20. Wow, you guys are really killing it tonight.
So how many hits is that? 2 hits plus crit.
No. Don't you get that poison damage too? Oof.
Yeah, I get
Oof.
2d6 on the normal hit, and I get 4 more d6 on the crit.
Oh, that's a lot of ones. Oh, it's only 2 ones. Never mind.
Damage.
Yeah. And I deal that much damage.
All
That
right.
wasn't-
1, 2. Oh god. Okay, give me a sec. I'm gonna have to count it.
18 just in d6s.
18, 29, 41. You know what? I'm just going to assume this guy is dead. So how would you like to kill this one? Like, you didn't just kill it, you obliterated this one.
Just say first spear goes straight through the neck, and then the second spear just straight through the skull.
This is fair. All right. So as the second one goes through his skull, it goes through with enough power that it stops just short of hitting Tinkrit on the other side before it abruptly disappears.
I'm all the way over here.
Oh, yes, you are. All right.
It was a curved shot, man.
There was a lot of ricocheting. He curved the spear. All right. So in that case, that's another one down. And is that it for your turn?
Yeah, that's it. I can't really do anything else unless I jump back over there, but yeah.
True. All right. Luke F with Salturum. I think you're
So,
using barrier.
Yeah, so I've cast Kinetic Barrier as my bonus action to give myself resistance to slashing damage. And I'm going to try an experiment here. As the undead are constructs created by magic, I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on the one closest to Morgan and me. So this one there.
All right. Yep. Alrighty. So choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. Alright. So, as you begin to cast the Dispel Magic and your power begins to infuse into the body of the creature, it seems to stop for a moment, as if it's being slowed down. It only lasts a split second before it just begins to roar and continue its rampage directly towards you.
Right.
All right.
Okay. So obviously, did it make it save, or was it just do I get the feeling from what happened that the spell's extremely powerful, or that the spell's not open to being affected by the spell magic spell? Do I get any sort of feeling to it?
What is your passive arcana?
It is 18.
18?
Sorry, no, 19.
Oh, 19. Excellent. All right. So in that case, as you begin to analyze the overall effects, you come to the assumption that while there is a magical power on this particular creature, it doesn't necessarily look like there is an active spell work maintaining its particular form. So you would not be able to dispel the magic upon it.
Okay. On that basis, I will spend 2 sorcery points and launch at this undead here, which I'm pinging.
All right. So, Salturum, you were aiming a lightning bolt, I recall.
Yes, after I've worked out that the spell magic does sweet FA in respect to these constructs, I've used 2 sorcery points, and I'm going to cast lightning ball at the one which will not result in me hitting any of the rest of the party.
Did you say lightning ball?
There we go.
Alrighty. Lightning bolt. 31. Wow. I mean, don't you need to do a spell there? You need to roll AC for that?
Just look like a deck save.
Yeah. I got a deck save, so it's no AC.
Because I am the DM, I should know all of this automatically.
Yeah, I
Lightning.
can't believe you don't have it stored in your mind palace.
That's what I have Thomas for.
That's true.
Your mind palace.
Okay, yeah. He makes dexterity save and throw. Alright. Dex save. That is an 11. He does not save.
All right. Bolts of electric, bolts of white power launch from my hands and go straight through his stomach, stripping away flesh and plant matter as they head off and hit the wall. Is that 10 feet behind him?
Excellent. All right, so the copper he apparently conducts also causes him to shudder a fair amount. 31. Oh, no, congratulations. This guy is actually taken enough damage, you're going to be able to kill him automatically.
Yay!
Good stuff.
All right.
All right, everyone, it's up to me to get to kill this final one without going to initiative.
I'll
I believe in you. Don't believe in yourself. Believe in me, who believes in you.
I cannot do anything from where I am.
You can jump.
You can fight the monks.
Can't you throw your spear further with disadvantage anyway?
Yeah, but then I can't get it back to me.
We'll pick it up and bring it over. Anyway,
Back
I'm going to attack.
Also, there's like a wall in the way, so...
and roll on that one.
God, imagine. Oh, no fucking way! No
I'm
way!
guessing that's in that one? Yeah.
Rob, stop cursing your fellow players.
You got some 20s. You fun.
I've got 120.
Oh, really?
It's
Bummer.
not like
Yeah.
you, Rob.
Yeah. Oh, that's insane.
All right, what do I do with this one?
Go ahead.
So would you like to store it, or would you like to use it?
No. Use this one.
All right. Let's have a look here. Yeah, I gotta get that guy off the map, don't I?
Ciruimon, you're right next to him.
Yeah, I'm very sorry, Ciruimon.
Ciruimon is right next to you. All right. What would be the maximum damage you would do using your Corpse Slayer?
It is 22.
22. All right. So what's going to happen is that not only are you going to accidentally hit Ciruimon somehow, I'm going to let you do the flavor. You are also going to accidentally destroy whatever arcane focus Ciruimon has.
Oh, shiver me timbers. Very sorry, Ciruimon. I assume when Ciruimon casts his lightning bolt, it temporarily blinds me, and I go for a swing and not very well. Basically, just stab him. Like I swing right across from me to my left and stab him right in the stomach. Just
Fair enough.
Not good. But may I make my second attack?
It has to be my stomach. Like, couldn't you have like stabbed me in the leg or something like that?
Yeah, or a toe, or
No. Right in the middle.
It's alright, I didn't
Just a
see
cash
anything.
wound. Oh, and there's that nat 20.
There we go. That's what
A little bit delayed.
That's what we wanted.
if you got that first, you could have saved him.
I know, right? Alright. Well, I'm going to do that as my one attack and use my, Divine Smite just at a level 1, which is an extra 3d8. So I'll put it in there. It's 2d8 first level and then 1d8 d6, 1d8 for undead. I'll make it 48 because my Corpse Slayer as well.
Alright.
So 34. So no, not 37.
37 points. Let's have a look and see if you kill this guy. Okay, you got close enough that I am happy for you to wipe him out. How would you like to do so, considering you still have the blood of Ciruimon on your spear?
Ciruimon's Azmir blood is got that good radiation in it, you know, because it's got the celestial power. So I assume, along with my divine smite, it supercharges it and just, with the power of my apology, also kills this.
Just don't get any fucking ideas about it. Coating the blade in blood.
What? Celestial blood hurts
Should we
undead?
start bleeding him?
He's like the book.
Yes.
Gary Gygax's ghost is like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Ready, Stoner, you're a blood bag now. You judge my power. I become a vampire.
I'm sure it's not the first time the Gygax has rolled in his grave.
All right, so Luke, what is Ciruimon's arcane focus?
Probably something fairly useful.
Something
Probably.
expensive.
Where would I find that?
It should be allocated to you fairly early on. Let me go have a look. You're a sorcerer, though.
I don't think you
Arcane.
need to focus. Does it?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
They use like
Which is
crystal
lucky
balls
because
and
it's
gemstones
wrecked.
and stuff like that.
No, the only thing I was maintaining was a kinetic barrier. So I took half damage on that because it's slashing.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's true.
How much damage did I take on that mission?
Yay!
It was 22. Turns into
Okay,
11.
so it's 11.
Yeah.
Lucky the guy that hurt you could also heal you.
Mm.
That is true.
Sorry, Morgan.
All right. So
Mate.
you guys are surrounded by the various corpses which had once threatened to overwhelm you when you guys have been taking them on one by one. What you guys can see to the south of your current location is an immense pit which separates you from the room where you guys can see Ogre, presumably waving cheerfully from the other side of said pit.
right.
Olga, how did you get over?
I jumped earlier.
Right. Who wants to
How
jump?
can we see how deep the pit is at all? If I pick up a lump of rubble and cast light on it, or daylight on it, see how far down it goes.
You may do so.
Mm.
All right. So upon doing so and dropping it in, it seems like the pit continues on so incredibly far that you lose sight of the glowing piece of rubble.
Okay.
What are these things?
Which things?
These yellow things.
Oh, doorknobs.
Oh, so nothing that we can tie a rope to.
Yep.
How many?
Oh.
It was meant to be that this is just, leads directly into the pit, but
Yep, fair enough.
Olga, are those columns down there? Do you reckon you could tie a rope around?
I could just hold on to the rope for the light of a few of you.
good. Roll me a 1 in strength, Ogre. Give in to your friend.
Everyone dies.
Die. What's that? You let go?
Hey, Trimp.
What's that? Do you have a nat 1 stored?
Trimp, carry this end of the rope to Ogre.
Olga was the necromancer all along.
So Ogre, you
Whoa.
got one end of the rope, I've got the other. It's a 50-foot rope.
All right, and I hold on to the rope.
All right. So,
Tie it
you
around this pillar. And still have another 8 feet or so to spare.
Yeah, but with my +1 of sleight of hand, it's probably not going to be the best tying job.
You just
I know.
hold on to it, bro. I'll
not
tie it
tying
here.
is strength. Is survival.
Yep, survival's time.
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say so.
Should
I just use my passive.
If you want.
Yeah, it's a 20,
All right.
and then I'll hold on top of that, just in case.
So how do you want me to get across?
All right. So for
Well,
this
probably
one,
just get Morkan to hold one end and then just climb across.
Yeah.
Right through? I'm happy to hold one end.
all right. So in that case, I'd probably say acrobatics or athletics. Your call.
Acrobatics. With Trimp helping me.
17. All right, so it doesn't take much, and you are able to clamber your way across the rope and into the room with Ogre. Immediately, you can see that there do seem to be a fairly large collection, fairly large number of people in monk outfits, just kind of looking at you curiously as you clamber across.
Ah.
Of course.
All right. So as you disappear from sight, you note that many of the monks look confused. The one wearing the robes of the head of the order, however, seems able to track your movements as you stealthily move around the room.
I look at him and go, shh.
Excuse you, it's a woman?
Look at her, rather.
Wow, sexist.
So you're quite right. I've been caught out.
All right. Who would like to come across next?
I may as well. Though I suspect I may have to spend a natural one of the 20s on this.
You have
So
levitate?
it's, sorry?
You have
No,
levitate?
I unfortunately do not have levitate. I've been umming and ahhing about having that. But
I've got it.
So it's,
If you fall, I will levitate you.
okay, so it's an acrobatics set or
Correct.
athletics.
Your call.
Makes no difference.
Come on, Luke.
Man, why can't you be level 14 and just fly across, man? Come on. Oh, well, maybe he does need
Yeah.
quick 4 levels.
What?
Do you want to give him a quick 4 levels so he can fly, so he can grow some wings?
He actually does have wings. They're just like these tiny little cherub things that can't support him in flight. All right, so with an 8, you're going to fail on this one, Luke. Flavor it up for me. How do you actually fail before Tinkrit catches you with levitate?
I hook my legs around the rope and my hands around the rope, and as I'm going along, the terror of the yawning abyss below me starts making my palms sweaty. I lose the grip of one hand, and that throws me off balance, and one of my legs becomes unstuck, which causes me to be hanging from one leg and one hand, which then further unbalances me, and my other hand releases while I dangle from my foot, which has become hooked in the rope, and then spin around, and it spits me in a spin down.
Complicated, but fair enough. All right. So you feel your momentum suddenly seize as Tinkrit catches you with his levitate spell.
Am I bringing?
While he's hidden around the room, apparently.
I'm over here.
All right. So you very shakily.
Range. Oh no, 60-foot range. You're okay.
You very shakily make your way up and into the room.
If you didn't have cast haste on me, I wouldn't have bothered. Just kidding, boy. Just kidding. I'd never.
All right, the important members are here. Let's get going.
Can you give us a bit more of a look at the room, Sam? Assuming there's a few of us in here now.
Pretty much what I've described is the extent of it, but I can give you more information. So the black circles that you guys can see are various pillars which are currently supporting the roof. At the moment, it looks like this particular section of the monastery is made out of a wooden floorboard, with the various walls and roof being made out of a very roughly worked stone. So you do have the group of monks and martial artists directly in front of you. As you guys continue down further into the room, let me very quickly unveil everything. You can see that there does seem to be another massive pit directly in the middle of the room, accompanied by extremely large-looking and, more importantly, heavy-looking doors, which presumably lead to the outside. At the current time, they are fully barred. You can see that there is a few supplies here and there, presumably that stuff that the monks were able to bring with them before they were presumably driven into this particular area.
What's along the left wall?
Along the left wall, you guys can see a bunch of windows which look out into the mountain ranges around you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry, thank you.
So good. Okay, so now that you apparently have all the important characters here, you know, exempting the paladin who specifically can kill undead creatures.
Nito, don't worry. We'll just teleport back to the other position and just walk all the way there and meet them outside the door. Sound good?
How do we get him across? How do we get him and Nero across? Nero should go across now, and then.
So
Yeah.
I go.
If you don't think you can acrobatics, just step at the window. Do one
I'm
of those
going to
cool steps.
get a run up because I can now dash 90 feet.
Oh.
And just as I get to the lip, I'm going to roll sideways into shadow and then shadow walk over to the other side instead.
This is what Michael's been waiting for, isn't it?
Yay!
15 sessions.
Okay. Bloop. See, if I was not a merciful DM, I'd totally pull out the other angry creature into this room just to attack Addison while he's alone.
I can take it. Don't worry. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that.
I'd assumed that we'd killed them, that they were moving back and forth between. Anyway.
No, they were different things. They had different.
Yeah.
One was daggers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that one.
Anyway.
Nice banshee.
How's Addison going to get across?
He's got the rope. Just we all hold on, and he swings down and climbs up.
Does it Tarzan style?
Happy to do that.
Watch us all fail our strength checks.
We've got a pillar right here. We can tie it around a pillar as well.
Mhm.
I'm so heavy, the pillar comes down, causes a cave in, you all die.
Okay, we're all going to hold on and tie it to a pillar. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Alright. Do you want me to make a check or do you want them to make a check, Sam?
Let's get you to make the check.
Alright. I'm happy to do it.
Tie it around your waist.
I'll be fine, guys.
Very cool.
I think
22 in athletics, so this is going to be a drastic success. Addison, flavor it up for me.
I tell them, guys, don't worry about it. And I just do a little bit of a long jump. And I just basically sprint and jump straight to the other side. I might trip a little bit and probably go stumbling a couple more feet. But I secure myself and do not faceplant.
You're wearing heavy armor, aren't you?
Yeah. Should I have done that at disadvantage?
Oh, more that I'm just worried about now the force that you're throwing yourself and whether Tinkrit is going to get out of the way. Or whether Trimp is going to get out of the way.
A shrimp just flies up. He's hovering above the ground anyway.
All right. So, easy enough, guys. Very well done. So, you are now in the centralized room surrounded by the various monks. One of them has attempted to get Nero into conversation and is currently complimenting him on his technique at using the shadows to bring himself into the room.
Well, such is the way of the unveiled path. Sometimes you need to walk through the shadows to find the light.
The monk in question nods enthusiastically. Indeed, it is a tenet of our order, which we must follow at all times. But it is very rare that I've seen someone quite. I assume you have not been trained in the ways of our monastery formally.
No, it's all been via dreams.
It is rare that we even see those who are trained by the greatest of masters here able to do such a feat. I think once you have finished your quest, if you return here for greater training, then you may be one of the greatest beings to ever come out of this monastery.
That's very kind.
Rummage, coming from Luke.
Sorry.
It's all good. I think we're used to it by now.
Saltern's looting the room.
You're stealing from monks.
It's Tinkrit trying to pickpocket them.
I'm looting the fridge.
Fair enough. Okay, so what would you guys like to do from here?
I'm gonna ask them. So I was told by my good friend Oga here that something was up with their souls. What is that about? We're trying to get them back or put them back together? I'm not sure.
Right. So the head of the order looks over at you before giving a confident nod. You are a follower of the great goddess Morsilla. I believe that you are familiar with her powers over death.
Yes, I am very much aware.
Well, it is rare but not unheard of for her to call away those individuals who may be able to help those areas dedicated to her power. It is fairly simple, but I believe that once you have been able to complete the task that she attains, then she will reunite both halves of your body and soul in order for you to continue on.
But she could have told me that directly, but sure. I'll take her on it. What did you guys need help with? I assume that's why we're here.
She stops for a moment before she gestures you over to the right wall, which likewise leads out to a view of the surrounding area. Young paladin, if you will have a look out, you will see that there is some odd construct being created in the valley floor below us. We have only noticed this, the creation of this, within the last 2 weeks, but it was only a week ago that we have experienced the overwhelming surge of undead attempting to beat down our doors in order to claim the members of our order. We are all that is left. So, as you have a look down at the valley floor, you can see a strange-looking collection of bulges and humps, which otherwise interrupt the fairly flat valley floor. Okay, I just got a weird echo then. So, even as you have a look at it, you can see that it looks vaguely man-shaped, but considering the proportions in question, this would be a colossal giant.
Right, this is quite a big construct. Well, it will be. Okay, what do you suppose we do about this? Do you want us to just stop it from happening?
I believe that the great goddess herself simply would like for you to secure our monastery and prevent the undead from coming up any further. If you are able to clear the grounds, then I believe that we will be able to enact the rites to exorcise any remaining spirits from our monastery.
Right.
Do you mean we have to kill the big thing?
She looks at you before she just... The look she gives you is one of mild horror. Yeah, young monk, I do not believe any of us here have the power to destroy that thing. It will require the work of many, many men and women dedicated solely to its destruction.
Where is its creator? Have you seen its creator?
The great goddess has provided me with visions through dreams, as she is wont to do. It is there is a young man down there, who uses warped arcane arts. It seems he is the one who is responsible for that abomination.
And he's down there now.
She looks thoughtful. I presume so. I honestly had not occurred to me. The great goddess is usually rather direct in these visions, so if he had not been there, then I assume that she would have given some indication otherwise.
Well, friends, I think our quest is nearing an end.
This is good.
Yes.
Good.
Where is it?
Right.
What?
Him. It.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. So, with that ominous moment, she turns to the rest of the monks and claps, and then eyes up both Morkan and Ogre. Unfortunately, with our prolonged stay here, we are unable to open the doors to the Sanctum. I believe that the two of you may have muscle enough to open these, and she simply gestures to the doors at the south of the room.
I'll go down there and get ready.
I can assist.
All right. So these doors are about 3 or 4 men tall, and frankly, you haven't really seen their like outside of anywhere that might be in the capital itself, usually attached to the palace. So these are freaking giant doors.
Cool. Let's open them.
I got an 18 in strength.
Should we rest first? Is it a... Charging right in at this point seems like it would be better to do after a rest.
Like
Yeah,
a,
me too.
you mean a full rest?
No, I need a long rest.
I'm channeling my inner soul charm.
I'll never shy of a rest, but if you want me to be slinging devastating spells at whatever we find the other side of the door, then I've only got a few left in me before I need to rest.
As do I. I'm running low on healing
Yeah.
and everything else.
It must be getting on too in the afternoon.
It is. You guys can see that the sun is beginning to set towards the west.
Monk, I pop into appearance and start speaking, and I smile and nod to the female leader of the monks, and my good lady, could we please charge you with minding us while we partake of a little kip to regather our strength before moving on?
So she bows her head towards you. It is acceptable. If you have any rations, we would be quite appreciative, as we have not been able to bring much with us, but if necessary, then we can simply watch you throughout the night.
Absolutely.
My apple. I gave away my apple.
I can use my last level 3 spell slot to cast Create and Food and Water, and that will last you for today.
So she gives you a very deep bow. Of course, you should have expected as much as expected as much of one who was dedicated to the goddess.
And I will sing a song.
Alright. Let me just find.
Alright. So you guys are taking a full long rest, I'm assuming?
Yes, please.
Please.
Alrighty. Are you guys going to be undergoing any shifts, or you're just relying on the monks?
Well, I think we're relying on the monk and our good friend Nero.
Yes.
I'm happy to stay up and
Yeah, I'll stay up
observe
for a
what's
bit.
going on. Yeah, just
To stay up and what?
just to observe what's going on outside, and take stock of the situation.
Alrighty. So, in that case, you guys pass the rest of the night with the monks, and the head of the order in particular takes a great interest in you, Nero, and spends much of the night talking with you about the various dreams and visions that you have had. She ascertains quickly that while the goddess Morsilla is a patron of the order, she is not necessarily their sole focus, but she believes that you, in the various techniques that you have learnt, you seem to have learnt them as if from a master of the monastery itself.
I recount to her my life story of growing up on the streets and joining the force and the city watch, and always just having a second sense of what was coming. So just a good old chat.
Fair enough. It is not unknown for those who would follow our path to display such abilities, but I am glad that you have been able to formalize them and use them with such great proficiency. It is very rare that even one trained by us is capable of doing so, and it pleases me that you have been able to stumble upon it. It is a sign of a great blessing from the goddess herself. And then she gives you a direct bow.
Which I return.
All right. So as you guys keep an eye on the construct through the night, you can see that, after the night itself falls, it doesn't look like there are any lights which show up, which might be dedicating or indicative of any living creature going through and constructing it. The next morning, as dawn breaks, you discover that whatever is being created down there has progressed throughout the night. And it looks like it is now, there are now several sheets of a yellowy looking metal now being applied across several areas of the construct.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Reinforcing again. Not good. We should probably interrupt that while we can.
I concur.
But that's not the target. The target's the necromancer.
Yes. Well, hopefully if the necromancer is dealt with, so is the rest of them. If this person is the necromancer after all.
Yes, we also thought that he left going north, didn't we?
Yes. Could there be two necromancers? Question mark. This
Good
could explain
question.
why he's been so hard to track.
A master and apprentice.
Quite possibly.
Or brothers, or twins, or just partners.
2 halflings in a trench coat.
Yes. I've actually used that trick.
All right, Tinkrit, apologize for the undead that you've raised, and we'll move on our way.
Okay, cool. Yes, I'm sorry for being the terrible necromancer and
Yay,
taking on
campaign
this
done.
this long merry goose chase.
You've been Kaiser so saying us.
That's right.
Have you guys been seeing those memes lately? That's like the show villain, the actual villain.
No, I
Both the
haven't.
same person. Oh, there's just been on Twitter a bunch of memes going around being like things in like Breaking Bad, shit like that. Just being like what the show's villain is what they make it out to be, but underlying villain overall. However, both are you, Tinkrit. You are both.
Tinkrit is the villain, to the surprise of, well, not really many.
Oh,
Only to the surprise of Tinkrit.
yes, that's right. And not even Trimp is quite certain.
Maybe the villain was the friends we made along the way.
All right, let's bust open those doors and
Yeah.
do we have any plans? Do we have any plans before we begin?
Can we get out of here other than via busting through the doors? Because I feel that that's locking us into a non-stealth approach.
All right. So the only other option would be to go out through the windows, and at the moment, since you guys appear to be on a jutting ledge which looks directly out on the view of the surrounding area, you might be able to finagle your way around the architecture in order to come at the doors from a different angle. But I'm probably going to say Morkan might not survive that.
So me and Makan are going to go through the doors. We'll give you guys like a 60-second head start.
We'll just pull a distraction.
No, I'm going to be stealthing anyway.
Wait, are the monks coming with us to help us fight this thing?
Yeah,
One
we
monk
fed
is.
them after all.
I mean, presumably.
I'm
They
going
got
to
off.
Let's see what's on the other side. If they're conveniently grouped,
But I've just
you
tried to
all
persuade
know what I'm going to do.
them. I'd say I get up and make a Braveheart speech.
Been doing that for 8 hours now.
I don't think we have time. It's almost time for another long rest, my friend.
Are they coming with us, Sam?
Yes, they are.
Nice.
What's that?
And it's entirely due to your Braveheart speech and not any other reason.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Alright.
So we had an 18 from Ogre from before. Morkan, can you also roll me a strength to get these doors open?
I can do that. Oh no.
No, he can't.
No. For a big boy, I'm so very weak.
Apparently, yeah. All right. So,
Didn't you have
Ogre, as you... Sorry?
he had a bardic inspiration.
I do have that. May I add my Bardic Inspiration?
You may.
I may not add my Bardic... Dude, what is wrong with me today?
I feel like Rob is taking everybody's luck today.
Yeah.
All right. So while the doors are incredibly heavy, but in spite of that, they seem to have a slightly complex locking mechanism whereby the two different doors need to be opened simultaneously in order for either of the doors to actually open. While Ogre is able to manipulate his particular mechanism on the door and push it with great strength, Morkan, you unfortunately are unable to rally up the strength in order to do so. What?
My goodness. Maybe
I
think
try
I
and
should
break the barrier. I'm not, the trigger with my
pick the lock.
thieves' tools and whatnot.
It's not so much a dexterity sort of thing. It's just like literally you need two people pushing and lifting on this.
Oh, I thought it was a lock thing I could fiddle with, but okay.
Sorry.
Right. Okay.
35 failed.
Man, this is one tough DC.
Well,
Amazingly, every other lock in the building just clicked open.
Every other lock clicked open, including, everybody's coin purse, and nobody has a pair of underwear on them anymore.
Right.
You assumed Olga had them on in the first place?
What is underwear?
Alright. What would you like me to do instead? Give it another go? Should I use something as leverage?
Well, apparently Tinkrit is offering to help, so I'm providing you with advantage because of a 35, because frankly, if I didn't reward that, I'd feel really bad.
Okay.
Can I go out through the window and go around to the other
Ah,
side
another
and try
12.
to pull them?
God damn it, Addison.
He's having another go now. Because another go with advantage, surely.
Sure.
I just look over at you really
I want him to
disappointed.
succeed at this point.
There we go.
Yay!
Turn
Teamwork.
numbers around.
Oh, I see what the problem was. You just had to switch the numerals.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so instead of a 12, you got a 21. Excellent. Okay, so much better. So the two of you are going to be able to manipulate these doors and push them open. It is still an immense piece of work, but you are going to be able to manage it. Nero, you have opted to go out through the window. It is a very thin, rickety ledge, and there is a lot of wind buffering at you. You are going to have to roll me in acrobatics to work your way around the architecture in order to get to where you want to be. $18. Excellent. All right, so you begin to swoop your way. Actually, no, flavor it up for me. How do you get around to the front door?
I think this is the only time I remember that I have a whip. So I just swing from one hand, then lash on to something else with my whip and swing forward. And then that's how I sort of Tarzan my way around.
Oh, yeah, I guess Tarzan does that. See, mentally I was going, okay, you're going to Catwoman it. So, there you go. My
Catwoman's even better.
I was thinking indie, but yeah, Catwoman's the best.
Excellent. Everyone agrees with me. Alrighty. So, you are able to swing your way around the outside of the facade and eventually thwomp down in front of the front doors just in time for the doors to begin opening just a tad. It's going to take them a few more minutes to actually work it all the way through. Now, what you can see around you seems to be a fairly calm, well, was previously a fairly calm-looking monastery grounds, but you can see that various areas are specifically dedicated to training. You can see that there are also several meditation pools. Many of these have now been destroyed, and in the case of the meditation pools, have been sullied by several by blood and dead bodies now floating in them.
Is the meditations pool a hotspot?
No, it is not. Sorry to disappoint. Now,
But there's no undead here right now.
Around the perimeters, Morkan, you can sense some undead, but they seem to be very far away. It feels like they might actually be hiding with the sun having risen.
Right. Looks like we are in advantage with the sun. Let's hope it stays that way. Apologies to Nero, because you won't get much use out of not as many shadows, considering it's quite sunny.
There's no shadows without sun or without light. There's only darkness. So he can still hide. He can still jump from shadow to shadow.
That is fair. All right. Well, the undead are far away. Let's advance.
Now that the doors are open, can I please get you all to make a Constitution saving throw?
Did you cast that bless, Addison?
I did not. I didn't see the message. I'm sorry.
I whispered him a moment ago. Cast bless.
Yeah. Well, you all get +4 anyway if you're near me, which I have to assume you are.
Ah, thank goodness.
Oh, that's lucky.
That's all right. I get you roll it again.
If you re-roll it into another one, then the second one counts. Is that right?
Don't think so.
You just keep re-rolling.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Basically, he gets to re-roll his first one, but he has to take the outcome of the second roll.
You roll a 1 3 times, you go to jail.
Halfling jail.
That's
It's where you only get one breakfast, not two. All right, is that everyone? We have Morkan, Nero, Ogre. Turum still needs to roll.
So that should happen 2.5 times for every 1,000 rolls you make, Rob.
Yeah.
Sorry, just had a child get up. What are we rolling? Sorry.
Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
18. All right. So, Tinker got a 7. I think this is the lowest I've seen you roll in about 5 sessions. Rob?
No, I've rolled lower. I've got a number of 2s.
Fair enough. All right. So, everyone, you, for the most part, are fine as the outside air billows over you. Tinkrit, on the other hand, you feel a little bit lightheaded and you feel like every inhale that you make isn't quite enough to fill your lungs with the amount of air that you so require. For the duration of this, you are going to be suffering from, I guess, vertigo, and you also aren't going to be able to breathe properly. So, until you are able to get to a safer location, your strength and dexterity throws are all going to be rolled at disadvantage.
Strength. Dexterity, eh?
Can he still play the bagpipes?
I'm just going to say no.
What?
Doesn't require much air. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you fill it up and then you squeeze it.
See, I honestly thought your reaction here would be that this is a witch hunt, sir.
Well, I'm kind of feeling that way, but it's okay. Let's play it on.
All right. So, yes, you guys can see that the various grounds seem to have been destroyed by the undead horde, but it doesn't look like any are near the front door at the moment. The head of the monks toddles out after the rest of you and looks around with a fairly critical eye. There was a powerful undead who led the forces around here. I cannot see it at the moment, but it was heavily reinforced with metal. I've never seen its like before.
Right. That is not unusual to us. Maybe to you, but it's just another day in paradise. Now, let's go find it.
All right.
Morgan, can you tell us? Do you have a feeling of where the greatest concentration of?
As far as I'm aware, they were hiding from the sun, so they'd be in the shade. But Sam, feel free to inform otherwise.
Yep. Right. So as you say that, the head of the monks just turns and looks at you critically. You say that they are going to avoid the sun?
Yes, as far as I'm aware, they are not fans of sunlight.
She stops for a moment before growing increasingly concerned. An increasingly concerned look crosses her face. There is a place in the monastery. It is it might attract their like, but they would not find it to their liking for long. If you'll follow me, and she begins to lead you out to the east of the hall.
All right.
Now, where she takes you, you can see that this area seems to be incredibly trampled down, even more so than the rest of the monastery grounds. And as you get close, you can those with a high enough survival will be able to see that it looks like this particular pathway has seen many undead following it directly.
Okay.
We have. Sorry.
No, you go.
We have catacombs of sorts. It is simply known as the stairs of the midday sun. But we have buried them in the tradition of our people, where we have a singular focusing crystal which draws in and regularly releases the power of the sun throughout the day. At any other time, the catacombs themselves are pitch black so that no human would be able to see through them, but when the focusing crystal is filled, then the entire area is filled with light too bright to look at. I do not know if this may be a place for these necromantic constructs, or whether they may have looked for somewhere else.
Right. Well, if they're not there, we should try to herd them to the area. At least that way they will not enjoy it once midday hits.
Your words are filled with wisdom. I will direct the rest of the Brotherhood to direct any of the foes that we encounter to here. But if you are willing to enter into the catacombs, then we will attempt to support you from above.
Thank you very much.
So, Mokan, you can sense a great number of undead directly below you, but you can also sense that a strange number of them seem to be moving incredibly erratically, enough so that you aren't entirely sure what seems to be leading them on.
Okay. They're moving in a very odd direction. They're all below us, but it's very... it's not usual to what they would be shambling. It's quite odd. So do with this information what you will. Everybody? I assume either they're being guided by this man that we speak of, possibly the necromancer, or some other purpose.
And so at midday, they're all going to die.
That's the plan.
So they obviously haven't been down there
Long. Yes.
Should we just seal them in?
Let's go and make sure there's no other ones in the outskirts first, and then seal them in.
And what's the time now, Sam? Like 11:55-ish, or?
Not quite. You guys pretty much came here directly after you set out for the day, so if anything, I'd probably say it's like 8 or 8:30.
Right. Well, yeah, let's just check the surrounding area for any other gout, zombies, or just any undead that's not where we want them.
Easy enough. All right. Would you guys like to use survival in order to track them down?
I'll go. I think that's your forte.
Potential.
Like his dad guy. Well, we can either use passive as 20, or I have a 16 passive. I can roll.
All right.
I have perception I can use as well.
All right. So you guys begin to explore the boundaries of the monastery, and much like the city of Ostri, you guys are able to quickly confirm that it looks like a majority of the monastery has been left to the living, so to speak. You fortunately were able to go through and recover the bodies of 2 of the monks, and also were able to locate 3 young monks who had been able to hide themselves within a small chapel well away from the main carnage. But by the time you finish your exploration of the grounds, it is beginning to near midday.
Okay.
Well, maybe we should brace ourselves, because there may well be an explosion of undead coming out those doors.
Just hold your weapons sideways and hope they cleave themselves.
Not going to work for a spear, but okay.
So try and prepare a fireball.
Prepare fireball! Fireball!
I always have a fireball prepared.
No, prepare daylight. Make them run back into it.
Yeah.
I'll stand on the opposite side, cast Turn Undead, and then it's just a never-ending loop. Because of paradox, they implode.
And then we can use them for power. And
Alrighty. So the monks have begun to create a fortification of sorts outside of the stairway of the midday sun, and as midday itself begins to come along, the head monk silently moves past the barricades and then flings the doors open. Directly ahead of you, you can see a fairly dark-looking room which quickly descends down into a pit in the ground. There is a stairway, but up above, you guys can see a slowly brightening area of light. The head of the monastery turns back to the group before she inclines her head. This will be incredibly bright. I would not recommend looking directly at it. Those who have, the unlucky ones, have lost all of their sight altogether.
All right.
Fair enough.
So, as the sun hits its zenith, the bright area in the middle of the room reaches painful levels, and then you guys suddenly just hear a zap noise as what looks like a beam of white light shoots down from the centralized area and down into the heart of the tomb itself. There is a quick moment of silence, and then you guys can see that the light of the pit which the beam had shot down into is growing steadily brighter. At this particular point, the head monk turns away her face and shields her eyes. A few seconds later, a sheer, almost wave of light spills out of the tomb, and below you, Morkan, you can sense many of the undead moving around, suddenly just evaporating into nothing. It only takes the work of a few brief seconds before the only ones that are left are those whose necromantic energies are so potent that you fear that they may be a greater challenge than any others.
At least that weeds out the infantry. So now we got the big boys to deal with.
Should we move fast before they can recover?
Hmm.
Probably.
So the head of the order turns to look at you. If you are intending to descend into the tomb, be aware that it is a very steep climb. Only the most athletically inclined can really make it through the top floor down to the bottom one. There are over 100 levels from what I recall, but I should warn you most importantly that the tombs themselves make an ingenious use of fire damp in order to ensure that the tomb itself is well lit even in the darkest of hours. So if you cannot see any torches lit, then I would recommend against using fire. Otherwise, there is a good chance that you may lose just more than a little bit of your eyebrows.
You really don't like Solturan, dude.
Well, I mean, you guys could do a nature check on what I just said.
Yes, with our great nature.
I got this, guys.
It's funny, I was listening to the first episode of the podcast where you guys had to make nature checks, and we were like, nature's shit. No one has a +1 to nature.
Okay.
Got a 7.
Olga, you just look at her blankly. You have no idea what she's talking about. And we're continuing the trend with rolling a 4.
Hang on. Yeah, everyone.
What?
Addison got a 6.
No idea.
Someone get higher than 10. Come on.
Luke got an 8.
All right, we got one more chance.
Come, Mike.
And a 4 from Nero.
Oh my god!
Nature, guys.
I'm just going to ask the priestess, what is fire damp?
She looks at you before she looks a little bit puzzled. I assume it is a magical phenomenon, but it is an invisible phenomenon which seems to kill those who remain within it for too long, but it is intensely flammable. We simply assume it is produced by earth elementals and released into the area.
It's a gas. It's a flammable gas.
Let's hope these earth elementals have not been farting, since we'd like to cast fireball.
Yes. And green flame blade.
Alright.
I've been nerfed.
Have you though? Alright, so she opens her arms and beckons to the doors. If you are able to make it to the ground floor, I believe you will come out only a few hours' trek from the construct that we have seen from the window. Obviously, you may not wish to go towards it, but if that is your ultimate goal, then you may be able to use this position to rally the forces.
I think that's a good idea. Let us rally.
Before we do this, should we probably tell Commander Droit to send some men here?
Yes.
Good idea. Tell them what we're up to.
Can I just see whether people want to call it a night now before we go into what sounds like a very large and combat?
I do not mind, but up to you guys.
I'm keen to continue, but I won't be grumpy.
I'm good.
It's fair enough. We can finish up here then. I will immediately say you guys will not be going through all 100 floors. I will do a lot of hand waving in that. I don't think any of us have the patience for you guys to complete a 100 floor dungeon.
I'm at like level 20 at the end of that, surely.
And so the next 50 podcasts are dedicated to this one dungeon.
Yes. Sorry, guys. This is our next campaign. We got a mini campaign.
All right. Well, if we want to leave it there, do you guys want to nominate your MVP?
I am nominating Nero. So
Yeah.
monkey stuff,
Yeah.
like smashing someone for the first time.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we're all good for Nero?
Yep.
In that case, congratulations, Michael. That brings your total of stored natural 20s up to 3. So the current tallying is such. Luke E, you currently have 5 stored away. Luke F, you have 4. Rob, Michael, and Addison, you all have 3. And Michael is still leading the charge with 2 nat 1s. And Luke F, Rob, and Luke E, you all have 1 nat 1 stored. All right, and lastly, Michael, would you like a mage, rogue, or melee table?
Rogue, thank you.
Rogue. All right, roll me a d10. That is 110. I feel like you've already gotten this one. Well, somebody has. Did I give iron bands of binding to someone?
I don't have them.
No.
Is that familiar? All right, must have been my main group. All right. Iron bands of binding. Let me very quickly toss this into the chat for you. Alright, so Rusty Sphere measures 3 inches in diameter and weighs 1 pound. You can speak an action to speak the command word and throw the sphere at a huge or smaller creature. As the sphere moves through the air, it opens into a tangle of metal bands. So basically you have a Pokeball, which mostly restrains things.
That's cool.
Yeah, it does actually look pretty cool.
You have
So how
two
big is this thing going to
restraining
go fight?
Sorry?
How big's the thing going to go fight?
ones.
Who knows? Bum bum bum.
Hopefully huge or smaller.
It's like a leveled up rope of entanglement for me.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. You have another rope of entanglement, but better.
Bigger, better. Make a ranged attack roll, blah blah blah, and hit the target as restrained until you speak the bonus word to command the word to release it. Doing so while missing the attack causes the bands to contract and become a sphere once more. Creature, including the one restrained, can use an action to make a DC 20 strength check to break the iron bands. Bam! So Olga might be able to do it.
Oh, look. And when it fails, the item's just destroyed.
That's always fun.
That sucks.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you want to be careful when you use it, Nero.
Maybe try and reinforce it with your rope. Make it never get destroyed.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Reserve it for casters, not enormous necromantic constructs.
Enormous necromantic constructs, if you did it with the rope as well, you'd probably get advantage. So a DC 20 strength check on advantage, that's not easy.
If you can, anyway. So yeah, congratulations, guys. You've been able to finish the session. I will be generous and provide you with 1 day of downtime if you would like to wander the monastery, or otherwise you guys can just immediately get back into things. Your call.
Cool. I'm going to get
So I have
healthy.
5 nat 20s, yeah?
5 nat 20s, yep. So you can trade them in for 1 rare item if you like, or
Yep.
save up for 10 to get a very rare.
I'm going to trade them in.
Trade them in. All right. What would you like?
Cloak of Displacement.
Oh, cool.
Let's have a look here. Cloak of Displacement. All right. So for our intrepid listeners, while you wear this cloak, it creates a projection of an illusion that makes you appear to be standing in a place near your actual location, causing any creature to have a disadvantage on attack rolls against you. If you take damage, the property ceases to function until the start of your next turn. Wow, very nice. All right, in that case, yes, you may have one of those. Flavor it up for us. How did you come by that one over the course of the session?
I was going to say one of those monks we found gave it to me.
Yep, easy enough. Okay, perfect.